Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another show of Beyond Boardroom Business. I'm your host, Coach Stephanie, and tonight is going to be amazing. I have the fabulous Mr. Alistair Edwards. He's going to be on tonight, so please make sure that you get your pens and take down some notes because this gentleman is just going to definitely lay some gems and full of information, especially for business owners that are trying to learn how to get out of being stuck or whatever you're going through. This gentleman definitely has the answer. He has a plethora of experience and knowledge and wisdom, and he is going to grace my show and give us all the answers for this segment. So without further ado, let me bring on Mr. Alistair Edwards. Greetings. How are you tonight?
Good. Greetings. How you doing this evening?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you for joining me this Thanksgiving evening. I appreciate your time. And I mean, your bio, you're such an amazing gentleman. I just want to congratulate you in advance for all of the success that you have accomplished thus far.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, just to name a few of the different things that you are a pro at it when it comes to training, team building, public speaking, diversity and inclusion, corporate training, leadership development, business consulting, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on about all of the accomplishments that you have gone through thus far, but can you tell us who is Alistair Edwards?
Just a person who loves to help people. You know what I mean? I just love helping people have success. I always tell people it's one thing to be successful, but it's not fun until you have successors, right?
That is true.
Until you've helped other people have success. And that's the fun, is taking someone who may have been struggling in one area and being able to coach them and develop them and watch them get clarity. And when you see that light go off, that's the most rewarding part. And then to watch them as their journey progresses even more to greater success is just true enjoyment for me.
Wow. And I can definitely see it. I can feel it from your aura that is truly genuine, that you enjoy helping people. So that's awesome. But can you tell us what inspired you to get involved in the selling industry to begin with?
Well, I've been selling since I was a child. So I was born in England to Jamaican parents. And then lived in Jamaica from 3 to 14. And probably at around the age of 6 or 7, I was behind the counter with my mom. My mom had a variety craft store where she would sell all the local artists' craft and arts. It's like a tourist shop, and then jewelry, everything like that. And I was behind the counter from the age of 7. I'm not, from a very early age, I was behind the counter, collecting money, getting in there early, making sure everything was ready for opening, negotiating with people as to, how to sell things. So it started at an early age. Yeah. And what I realized is selling is an art. You know what I mean? Communicating to people value in a product or a service to get them to go ahead and make a purchase is definitely something. And as I grew older, I realized everything was sales, right?
Yeah.
The day the young lady, you had to sell yourself as to why you should be the guy she goes out with, right? So it was all sales. Everything was sales. And so I just decided to master that. I was very intentional about learning the art of selling, very intentional about understanding value or communicating value to people. When I moved to America at the age of 15, I got a job with a company called Public Supermarkets. And so started bagging groceries with them and went all the way through management. Ended up doing 27 years with them. I was actually in their management program, store manager with them for about 16 years before I retired. But 27 years total. And I learned early that everything was intentional. Sales is intentional, right? Even in the way people market products and services intentionally. If you go in a grocery store, all the children's cereals are on the bottom two shelf.
Yeah.
Eye level for the kids. It's not for the parents to pick it out. It's for when the kids walk through the aisle, they start bugging the parents to get the cereal, right? It's on eye level, right? All the healthy cereals are at the top because the healthy people usually are fit enough to reach the top, right? So it's all everything strategic in placement, advertising. Everything is strategic as to how we sell products and services to people. And so, just
would you say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said so. It's just something I became very interested and fascinated with.
Are you capable of selling something that you don't agree with?
I'm capable of doing it. Will I do it? I won't. Right? I'm capable. If I was required to sell something to save my life, I think I could sell it.
Wow,
right?
that's yeah.
But I'm not. I'm a firm believer. You have to believe it. It's. I always tell people there was a point in my life I was commission driven. And what did I mean by that? Meaning I could sell anything. Just tell me if I can make money on it, I'll sell it.
Wow.
But then I realized in life it's better to be mission driven. I actually started making more money when I became mission driven instead of commission driven. So that's where I came up with the t-shirt brand, mission driven, not commission driven, right?
Wow.
I'm a firm believer when you believe in a product, believe in a service, and you understand that you're bringing true value or you think your product is actually going to change somebody's life, you'll sell more.
Was that your first product?
Was that my first product?
Yes, that you sold?
Oh, no, I was selling, well, shoot. Like I said, I've been selling since I was 7, but when I was in school, I used to sell candy bars and stuff like that when I was younger to make money. I used to make little thimble gigs. In Jamaica, we used to take, we had those little sewing thimbles.
Oh, yeah.
The rubber band in between it. I would pick those things up and sell them to the other kids, and we'd spend all day winding them up. I was probably 5 or 6 doing that, right? But
wow.
it was so I've been selling it for a long time. And then even my sophomore year in college, I was selling books door to door. So I joined a company called the Southwestern Book Company during the summer and spent 2.5 months selling books door to door. So my first summer, I probably knocked on about 3,000 doors, selling encyclopedias and Black history books. Wow. And did so good that summer that I came back my junior year and brought a team. So I had a team of individuals that I convinced that I sold on the opportunity. So I brought a team back with me the second year, right? To where I actually helped them go out and sell books and encyclopedias while I sold also, right? That's where I learned the concept of leveraged income.
Did you have a mentor to help guide you with that, or you came up that on your own?
Well, one of my good friends, a guy named Dwayne Rayner, I was at Florida A&M. He was at Florida State. And he said, Alistair, I got an internship for you. We're going to go sell books door to door. He said, I did it last summer. He said, I made about 20 grand in 2 months. I was like, yes. I mean, let's think about it. This is 1987, 1989. For a college student, pulling in about 20 grand in 2 months, that's a good run, right? So I was like, let's go. So now I went and sold books door to door. Went and sold encyclopedias door to door. Yeah.
So when you did that give you a lot of experience to accept the no's, the rejections?
I think that's where I learned a lot about, built my confidence in selling, because here's what I realized. Everything is not for everyone. But for you to find the one, you got to talk to everyone.
I like that.
So everything is not for everyone, but for you to find the one, you got to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's like even in building my business, one of my businesses is Legal Shield. I do Legal Shield, and I have an organization. I've had over 5,000 people join my team, right? Yeah. And of course, the 80-20 rule always exists. 80% join the team and do nothing, right? But then you have the core 20% that help you make millions, right? So it's just focusing on fine. You got to go through the numbers though. And it's in anything you sell.
That's true. Now, on that point of Legal Shield, sometimes people might say something negative about the history or whatever, but it is a legitimate business. Could you talk a bit about Legal Shield.
Sure. So I got introduced to Legal Shield back in 2003. And I was invited to a hotel meeting, right? It was a network marketing opportunity that was presented to me. And I had tried some other network marketing companies before, never really had much success. So I had pretty much written off network marketing. I was like, I'll never do that again. Never, ever. I was a store manager for public supermarkets. I was managing the store in Cascade. And a guy by the name of Ron Green came into my store and asked me, he's invited me to a hotel meeting. And I told him I'm not interested. And he would come every single week. And that went on for about, I would say about 6 months.
Wow.
And I remember it was a Friday afternoon. I'm getting ready to pack my stuff to go home. And I looked at my cameras and I saw him come in the door. And I called my front office cashier. I said, look, whatever you do, that man that just walked in, you make sure you tell him I'm not here. But he saw my car up front. He wouldn't leave. So he stood by the magazine rack, which was right outside of my office. So I had to come out and I said, Ron Green, what part of no don't you understand? And he said the one thing that changed my life, and I think this will apply in any industry. He says, is it fair to say, Mr. Edwards, most of your good decisions are usually made when you have 100% of the facts? I say, yeah. He says, all I want you to do is come and get 100% of the facts. And no matter what you decide after, I'll never bother you. He says, but if you don't come, I'll be here again next week. Right? So the only reason I went to look at this information was to get this guy to stop bugging me. It just so happened it was the same time I was getting ready to adopt 2 kids. I needed to get a will done. I'd spoken to my frat brother about getting a will. He said, Alistair, we usually charge $1,200, but for you, we'll do it for $500. Right? And then I go to this presentation and they say, we do your will, your living will, and your medical health care directive for free. It's included in your monthly fee. We do it for you and your spouse and update it every year at no charge. I was like, well, shoot, let me try that first. Right? And then when they got to the compensation part, I was like, well, I'm in a foster to adopt class with 38 other people. I could share the information with them and make some extra money.
Right.
You know, a year later, I cleared over 30,000. My first full year, I made about $30,000 on a part-time basis.
Wow.
And then I realized that every time I sat down and shared the information with someone, they usually signed up. And every time they signed up and I sent the paperwork to the company usually paid me, right? I was like, I need to figure out how to talk to more people. I was working 50, 60 hours a week, so I really didn't have a lot of time freedom. And then Ron told me there was this thing called group school, meaning they teach you how to go into companies and provide Legal Shield as a benefit to the employees. And so my second year, I took that class, and then I started doing a lot of group presentations. So my second year, I did a little over 50. My third year, I did a little over 80,000. And then my fourth year, I did over 114,000, which was more than I was making as a store manager. So I still had my full-time job as a store manager. And part-time, 5 to 10 hours a week, I earned an extra 114,000, right?
Yes.
And then about 3 years later, I started receiving this crazy amount of money for things I hadn't done. I was like, there are deposits coming in. What's going on? And they were like, well, Mr. Edwards, that's your book of business. The book of business that you've sold over the last 4 years have now earned out. And that's what we call residual income.
Right.
So you're telling me, so I was like, so let me get this clear. You're telling me the people that I signed up in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007 still have the membership? And they said yes. And you're telling me every time they make a monthly payment, you're going to pay me a portion of it? Yes, that's residual income. I was like, bet. Right? So July 4th, 2009, I retired from Publix, right? And just went full time. I went all in with Legal Shield and started to really build that business to where now it pays me multiple 6 figures a year. But not only that, I've created and helped other people do the same thing. So I enjoy that, you know.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, do you encourage other people that have a full-time job that they can do other things as well and not become stressed out to have different resources?
Yeah, I always say to people, you pay your bills with your 9 to 5. You build your wealth with your 5 to 10.
I like that one. Your 5 to 10.
You get stable. So what my full-time job allowed me to do was stable. I created a stable environment for my family. There was a stable income coming in. All my bills were met. Right. But part-time is where I built my legacy. Part-time is where after I got off of work or any free time I had was when I worked on my home-based business. to create true financial freedom and freedom. So
Wow.
now I don't have to work a 9 to 5. Now I don't have to worry about income, because I took that time. I took that 5-6 years to build that foundation that will give me eternal freedom.
What are some common mistakes that salespeople make that blocks them from becoming successful?
First of all, I think you have to believe in your product or service. Whatever you're selling, you have to first believe it. I'm a customer of Legal Shield. Right.
Yes.
I have the membership. They have saved me thousands. They did my will. They updated my will. When my engine blew on my car, they wrote a letter and got me a brand new engine for my car. It didn't have to cost the $10,000 worth of work that I had done that I didn't have to pay a dime for. Right.
Wow.
So I've used the membership, and I could give you, tons of stories of how I've used it, tons of stories how my customers use it. So I'm a full believer of the product or service. So when I'm selling, I'm not selling, I'm sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe every salesperson needs to get to the point where they can share their information.
Okay.
Because if you're always out there trying to sell or having to sell, it's going to be hard, because now I'm trying to convince you.
Right.
I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to convey to you the value of something that I have that I think would be beneficial for you. And it just comes with a cost. Right.
Yes. And so that's what separates a true salesperson, because they have the 100% information, as you mentioned, Ron stated to you. So that's the confidence that helps with closing sales.
Yeah. If you can give your customer all of the information, or all of the information that's important. So let me be careful. You don't have to give them all of the information. Sometimes we give people too much information.
Right.
I want to give them all of the information that's important to them.
Okay.
What part of your product or service what's the value proposition that is going to be of value to the prospect, to where the prospect says, I am willing to pay you X amount of dollars for that value. So for example, if I don't have a headache, I'm not going to buy a Tylenol. I'm not going to buy aspirin. I don't have a headache, right?
Right.
Now, if all of a sudden I have a massive headache and I go to the store and they tell me, hey, there's a run on Tylenol, we don't have any in store. And I call you and I say, hey, I have a massive headache. And you say, well, I have a Tylenol, but look, it's the last one I have. I usually could get a bottle of Tylenol for $5 or $6. And you say to me, but I'll sell it to you for $20. I'm not going to stop to argue with you about the price. Because what is more important to me than the $20 is getting rid of the headache.
That's right. The pain.
The pain is more severe than the price.
Yeah.
The value that I'm going to receive from taking the Tylenol and relieving my pain is worth me paying you $20. If that's the price you're telling me, that's the only way I can get it, is if I give you $20. I'm not going to go back and argue with you about it. I'm going to figure out how to get you $20. You're the only one that has one.
That's a great point.
Right.
Let me ask you this. What's the number one underrated skill that every salesperson needs to have?
Listening.
Yes.
Sometimes we talk too much. You can actually shorten your sales pitch or shorten your presentation by giving the prospect an opportunity to share with you what their problem is.
That's true. They give you the answer.
They give you the answer, right? Yeah. For example, Legal Shield has, 20, 30 different features: unlimited telephone consultation, contract and document review, will preparation, debt collection letters, IRS audit and protection, 24 hours for an emergency access, 60 hours of trial defense for any civil lawsuit. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
If I take the time to listen to someone and they say to me, you know what, Alistair, I'm really worried. I lost my father the other day, and going through the whole probate situation was just a whole mess. I would hate to leave my kids in a situation where, God forbid, something was to happen to me and they had to go through what I'm going through right now. Yeah. I don't need to talk to them about speeding tickets.
Right.
I can simply say, hey, well, that means you really need to go ahead and get your will updated or get a will done. Average attorney is going to charge you $800 or $900, maybe $2,000, right? That's the average, between $8,000 to $2,000. But if you decide to sign up for our Legal Shield membership, you get to do your will, your living will, your financial power of attorney, your healthcare power of attorney for free. It's all included in the membership. And the membership is only $37.95 a month.
Wow.
and we don't lock you into any long-term contract.
Yeah.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah, it is.
Most people make the mistake and say, hey, we do speeding tickets, we do IRS audit, and you forget to talk about the one thing that customer is more concerned about right now.
Wow.
So the worst skill you can have is not to listen.
Yeah.
I always ask questions before I start my presentation. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's some of your concerns?
That is great.
If you could have access to an attorney, what would you talk to them about? What are some of the questions you would ask? And it's from those answers that I now understand, okay, here's what I need to talk to them about regarding our services. They're still going to get the other 30 features, right?
Right.
But they're purchasing for the one thing they were interested in.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Is it important to build a long-term relationship with your customers, or is it faster to just hit it and quit it? What's the best solution?
If you can, depends on what the circumstances is. There's not always a situation where you can build a long-term relationship with a customer. It may be just a one-time. It depends on how you're selling. You may be at a benefit fair, or you may be at a vendor somewhere. You're not going to be able to build a long-term relationship to close a sale. What you need to do is build a inviting relationship immediately. Yeah. That's where the listening comes in.
All right, that's great. So the average millionaire has more than one resource, more than one way of receiving revenue. Now, when people ask, when you're in a networking environment and they ask you what you do, right off the cuff, you don't know where they're coming from. And I might have so many different things that I do. Do I list everything I do, or do I just come in with the intention of just one concept? What's the best way to approach networking?
It depends on what your objective is when you go out to network.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is I am intentional when I go out to network. I already know if I'm going out to network, I'm thinking of doing two things. I'm thinking of either getting a new associate on my team, meaning find someone that is interested in building their own business and earning some income. So I'm always recruiting people to build income, right? So I'm always looking for Legal Shield associates. Okay. Or two, I'm looking for someone that can get me in front of a customer base, a potential customer base that can buy the services. So I'm looking for employers or people that have employees to where I can come and do a lunch and learn. So that's usually one of my most intentions. Now, if I'm thinking of doing my speaking, so I do public speaking and sales training and coaching. If I'm in an environment where I know there are people that have the decision maker power to bring in speakers, then that would be my intention. So I would lead with, motivational speaking, sales training and coaching. Is your sales team struggling? Have you guys had a fundamental sales program set up for them and had someone come in and just give them the fundamentals of selling? That's what I do. Right. And so I'll come in and implement my sales course. So it all depends on what environment I'm in and what my objective is that day.
Okay. Thank you. That I needed that clarification. So can you tell us a little bit about your program, Stair Steps to Sales?
Okay. So what I did is what I was realizing well, first of all, Legal Shield at one point asked me to be a trainer. So I had done so well in the small business, small group arena, opening up new accounts that they said, hey, would you train people to do what you do? So I became a group trainer for them, became trainer of the year, right? So out of 50,000 associates, I was the number one trainer for the year.
Number one, congratulations.
Yeah. So, but what I realized, not only do people need training in Legal Shield, people need training on sales in general. And yes. I had learned so much from selling books door to door. I'd learned so much from selling Legal Shield and making millions there that I decided, look, I could also teach people how to sell. And so I developed a 13-module sales course. It's an online sales course, Stair Steps to Sales, and where we go through everything. We start off with, first of all, understanding your customer, how to find your customer, prospecting, how to sit down with a decision maker to get a decision made, how to close the sale, how to handle objections, right? We talk about how to know the 4 personalities of a person when doing a sale. or doing a sales pitch, right? There are four type of people. Some people like money. Some people like to help people. All right. Some people are what we call the money person. I call them a shark. You can't talk to a shark from a whale position. What's a whale position? Someone who just wants, who wants to help. You can't talk to a shark from a dolphin position. What's a dolphin? Dolphin, someone who just wants to have fun. If you tell them, hey, we're gonna make a lot of money, it's gonna be hard work, and the dolphin's gonna be like, I'm not interested.
Right.
That just sounds. That's not. There's no fun in hard work. Right. I got to talk to the dolphin from a dolphin point of view. And then so we talk to you about how to identify those personalities and how to create your sales pitch around those individuals and talk to that. So that course is an online course that I sell. It sells for $9.97. So it's highly discounted. But the value that you're going to get from that, the results that you're going to get from that is totally mind boggling. And so we've had major results. And if you go to Instagram and you go to Steps to Sales, Steps to Sales, one of those, you'll see all the testimonials of people that have had major success by plugging into that program. So,
wow. You have any holiday specials coming up or anything?
That is the holiday specials. I'm actually dropped it down to $9.97 for Black Friday. So it's usually $12.99. So it's $9.97 for Black Friday. So yeah, if anyone wants to get it, the links, I see you got the link running across the bottom there. So yeah, go get that course, man. I'm telling you, it'd be the best investment you ever make to make sure that you 10x your business.
Yes, definitely. So, Alistair, with all the different things that you do, how do you stay inspired? How do you stay healthy? How do you stay energized?
I'm not an avid workout person, but I work out. You know what I mean? So light exercise, definitely make sure you do your push-ups and your little bike ride and anything to get the blood flowing. And what keeps me motivated is the new person.
Okay.
The new person that joins the team and you help them get to the six figures, right? It's the Martavius Hillmans. Young man just joined my team. Last 12 months, we paid him over $200,000, right? It's the Farrah Shelley's, an Atlanta police officer. Last 12 months, we paid her a little over $120,000 on a part-time basis. So she still has her full-time job as a police officer, but she's making six figures with us part-time. It's working with those people and helping them have success. That's the motivation that keeps me going every day, is to create success stories for people, right? Martavius was told by his employer he'd never make six figures because he doesn't have a college degree. And now he's making more than the people that told him that. Right? And he's still doing it part-time, and he's doing it part-time. So it's not something he's doing full-time. It's a part-time gig. But he'll be at $300,000 before the end of the year. Hopefully we'll have him, right at the $300,000 ring. So he's on track. And so it's just enjoyable to watch people grow in this business, right? So I think where I get joy is mentoring people to become great at whatever it is they choose to be.
Okay. And for those sales reps or sales, how do you help them when they're feeling like they're struggling? What's the best advice that you can give them?
Well, first of all, we have to talk about what their struggle is.
Okay.
Right. So everybody's different. I don't think you can just blanket everybody with one remedy, right? Like when you go to a doctor, the first thing the doctor wants to know is, what are your symptoms? They're going to ask, well, tell me what's going on, right?
That's true.
Every time you went to the doctor, all he did was hand everybody an aspirin. And when people had a headache, it's not the right doctor, right? You got to figure out what your problem is. In some cases, it's personal development. There's some people that I work with, they got great work ethic, but they have no personal development. You're wondering why people keep quitting your team is because you have no personal development. You don't know how to handle a team. You don't know how to mentor a team. You need to read a book like How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? There are different things. We have to work on the mindset. That's why I'm so glad, I'm a part of a group called the Morning Meetup. But we read every morning. We have a book every morning, right? I'm a part of a team under the leadership of Darnell Self, right, called Team New Vision. We have a book of the month, right? Right now we're reading a book called Die with Zero, right? It's just understanding that constantly reading and putting the right things in your mindset, getting your mind in the right position for selling, getting your mind in the right position for blessing others. So it's going to be mindset for some people. For some people, it could be, I got to talk to you about your listening skills. right? You do a great
Right.
presentation. The problem is you're doing your whole presentation before you listen to what the problem is, right? It's like a doctor, like you walking into the doctor and he says, you know what? I think we need to amputate your leg. And you come in there and say, but my thumb is hurting. There's nothing wrong with my leg. It's my thumb that's
Right.
hurting, right? I was so eager to tell you how great I am at amputating legs. I'm taking the leg away and there's nothing wrong with it, right? So it's just making sure that we listen to what each person needs and then we guide them to what that is.
Gotcha. Right? Okay. Now, do you train introverts different from extroverts? Because they're different theories of thinking or personalities when it comes to sales.
So in our personal coaching program, so we just finished a 90-day run. So I also have a 90-day program. I probably started up again in January to where people, we mentor them for a full 90 days. So it's 3 days a week for 90 days.
Okay.
So it's an intense program. It's an expensive program, but it's an intense program, but it's worth every bit of it. Where we work with individuals on it. We do group coaching, but we also do individual coaching to help people specify their needs and fill their needs.
Awesome. And how can they find that? On your website?
They can find it on my website, or they can inbox me or DM me at alistair.edwards on Instagram, and we'll reach it and get on my calendar. They can go to my calendar on my Instagram and schedule a meeting, and we'll see if we're a fit. So we don't take, I'll be very upfront. We don't take everybody because, like I said, it's a serious intent program. It's a commitment. It's 3 days. It's guaranteed 2 days a week for 2 hours each day, and it's intense. But the results are well worth it.
Oh, most definitely. And the reason that I know you, Alistair, is because I am a part of your team. So if anyone is interested in signing up with Legal Shield, please feel free to go to Stephanie Hagen's .legalshieldassociates.com. And they'll be able to learn all about Legal Shield and be a part of your team as well.
Most definitely. We'd be happy to have them. Happy to work with them.
Yes. And thank you for that. Is there anything you would like to leave in closing?
No, I just want everybody to understand that it's possible. What I mean, it's possible. It's whatever you want. It's whatever you want is possible. And I think one of the biggest things we are doing is self-doubting ourselves. And whatever it is you want to accomplish, whatever it is you want to achieve, just know it will take some work, but it's very possible. It's very possible. With the right coaching, with the right mentorship, with the right opportunity, it's totally possible for you. And if you want my help, I would be glad to help you. Feel free to reach out to me. Just let me know a little bit about yourself. Let's have a discussion. And I'm hoping you all enjoying your Thanksgiving Day and continue to have fun.
Thank you so much, Alistair. I hope you would come back later in a couple of months so we can follow up and see how you're going, or what kind of workshops you have going on, or what have you, because I know you're going to continue to stay successful. So thank you again for being on my show.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Definitely an honor.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please make sure you sign up if you're interested in learning more about Legal Shield. Again, contact me, Stephanie Hagens, and that's STEFFANIE, Hagens, HAGGINS, .legalshieldassociate.com. And please, I have all the information that you need because I love what I do. And I have the great mentor, Mr. Alistair Edwards, and other mentors as well that can help us get through whatever issue that you may have, or someone that you know that may be going through something. So again, I appreciate you all being a part of Beyond Boardroom Business with your host, Coach Stephanie. And I hope to see you all next week at the same time, 7 p.m. as always. And until then, stay prosperous, stay prayerful, and stay persistent. Thank you so much.